Judging that you clicked on this, you're probably in the same boat as me and you want to make a livestock scale and not break the bank for it. Look, livestock, especially cows right now and calves, they're high. So knowing approximate they weigh before you take them in so you don't get shocked and be like, man, I thought that was a 300-pound calf, and realistically it was like 180 pounds or something like that. That'll help you out a lot, so you're holding them back until they're at the target rate or target weight that you're looking for. What we've done is we not scoured I guess, but we looked hard on Facebook Marketplace, and not for what you think. We actually just looked for this platform. All I was looking for was an aluminum platform that had some sort of framework underneath of it that I could attach some scale, like load cells to. Not too long ago, we actually made a scale system for our manure spreader, and it kind of got us thinking like, hey, why aren't we doing this for our livestock? And then not only that, this also gives me the ability to weigh hay bales. You'll see here in a second how we've got it set up to where we're gonna be able to do that also, but let's get into the build. This is the platform that we bought for 90 bucks. And all aluminum, like we mentioned. We did have to cut some stuff off. Now this platform is actually designed for a scaffolding or something of that nature. Now you can put handrails on it. You can see all that stuff was up on there. That's what these square tubing holding. That's what all that's for. We're not using it for that, but I did leave them because I was like, that might come in handy. We will leave those in place. I don't know that we'll use them. More than likely, we're gonna have our panels and stuff run along this, but not touch it because we don't want them to mess with our weights or anything like that. But again, we left that on there as an option. We did cut all of this stuff off as well. That one ran the length over here, and then these were both one on each end between the, those tubing uprights right there. I left this as such because basically when I set a hay bale on here, so like that lip right there, and then we also left a lip over here, I left that on there because when I set a hay bale on there, I don't want it to be able to roll off. I want to be able to set it on there, see what my weight is, and basically take it right back off. So that's all we had to do to doctor this up. Now let's look at the bottom of it. Now you notice that this doesn't have as much support right there. It'd be wonderful if I had one more support right there, but it doesn't, and that's okay. It is heavy enough that even when I step on it right here, when it's not supported, it's just supported by the welds, I'm not gonna fall through. Yeah, the floor bounces a little bit, but if you look at the actual beams, they are not flexing, and that's perfect. We are gonna drill basically 2 holes right here, 2 holes right here, same thing on that side and that side. And we're gonna go ahead and put our load cells on there, so let me show you how that works. If you watched our other video where we put load cells on our manure spreader, you're not gonna learn much here. You're not even gonna notice anything different. It's basically a miniature version of those cells, that's it. Last time we took these legs off, we're actually gonna leave them on this time because this is what we're gonna use for the ground contact in this situation for the scale, and it's got a nice rubber foothold on it so it won't slide around and stuff like that. And also this pivots and everything else, so if you don't have a perfectly level floor or something like that, it'll adjust to it. We'll run all these to this box right here. This box basically is a junction box, gets all these load cells coming in here to the same circuit board, and then they have one output that goes out to the monitor. And the monitor, like I said, we preferred to have one that was battery powered in this case, not a rechargeable battery, because sometimes it might just be, hey, today we're going out there to do this, and let's say I didn't have this on the charger. Well, that's very inconvenient, right? This makes it to where I don't have to worry about that. It's not on the charger, it's not on the charger. Now it does have a DC power option, so like if I didn't want to use batteries, I could use this or I could use a power source, but 90% of the time, probably 95% of the time, I'll be using this. This is our cable that runs from our junction box to the monitor, and then there's all of our bolts. So it literally comes with everything we need. All right, we got everything out here except for a couple of the load cells. I only need one to show you this. So long story short, we're gonna use this spacer. Actually, we're gonna set this on here, mark our holes where we need to drill, right? So let's say I've got them marked. Now you'll notice that there's no gap anywhere in this, and then if I do it like that, that means that when I put weight on here, this can't flex and give me any sort of a reading on the load cell. That's again where this plate comes in. So we put that plate in there, now it has a gap. We'll have this, like I said, right there to the end of it, that way it's more stable. If you put it toward the inside, you wouldn't be as stable, of course. Then from that, we're gonna use these on the backing. Now, in my case, the framing on this is just a little too narrow. And what I mean by that is like the framing on this that's pretty close. The framing is roughly, I have that much of a lip, right? And so when let's put this in front of it, I guess, or beside it. We'll put it like this. So when I do that, you'll notice that I don't have enough to get I'll have to shave some of this off in order to get these, the bolt to go through this, because these act as the nut for the bolt. So we'll shave a little bit of this off in order to get that under there and make it fit under the lip. This will bite on there, problems are solved, and then from there we can do our wiring. The wiring is simple too, we'll get into that. I don't feel the need to show you all these, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down, make it where it'll fit, and we're gonna basically copy and repeat for the other three. I would like to be like at the end with the load cell completely, so we're gonna set it like that, and then we're gonna lift this off. And I will center this back up, but overall that's where what I'm really looking for is just making sure that I'm gonna be at the end, or close to it at minimum. We need to loosen this lock nut up because we don't want this to go all the way through. So if you look right here, right, if it goes all the way through it to the end of it, fine. But if it goes all the way through too far and it's touching this, or is going to touch this when this flexes to give us a weight, it won't give us an accurate reading. So make sure that this is only to the top of your load cell. Ultimately, we have all of our load cells already mounted. The wires are already ran. I did drill a couple of holes because I want to keep all this wiring under here, but also tucked so that it is out of the way whenever I pick it up by hand. And not only that, it's not going to drag on the ground or catch things when we move this around. Now, this junction box right here, we're going to go ahead and open this up. There's 6 screws. You can see 3 across the top, 3 across the bottom. We're going to take those out. Now we have the lid off. You can see what it looks like inside of there. Basically, we're going to take all of these wires, so this red, white, green, yellow, and black, and we're going to connect them in the appropriate positions. Unfortunately for us, they do send us the instructions or the guidelines on how this is going to be connected. And let's say that you lose this piece. That's okay. If you go to the website, they actually have all the manuals and everything else on there too, and they're even going to have videos for how to calibrate your stuff. So keep that in mind if you lose this paper. Not a big deal. Plenty of backup plans. Wanted to show you something real quick. So notice I have all the wires pretty much all the way in, except for this red one. The red one's sticking out and it's got a good amount of bare wire showing. I'm demonstrating this because I want to ensure that everyone understands it's important to ensure that you have all of those wires, all the bare wire, in as far as possible. If I had 2 wires like this red one near each other and they had that much wire showing, it would be possible for them to touch, for instance, like this, right? And then you could have a bare wire on that green one and a bare wire on that red one touching. And it would, of course, make your reading not accurate, along with potentially damaging something. So make sure they're all the way in. I'm just going to show you how I loosen it up, wiggle it, and now I've got that all the way in, and then we'll just tighten this right back down. And there we go. Let's get the rest of these done, and then we'll show you how this goes together to work. All done. Last thing we have to do, we're going to plug the monitor in. Pretty simple. It's literally just a little cable. Matches right up, of course, on the connector on the back side of this monitor. Now that we have this plugged in and everything, all we're going to do is we're going to use the weight you see in front of you. So this 15-pound weight, the 20-pound weight, our herding dog Spirit, and then myself. Now, because I don't know exactly what that weighs, I brought the scale from in the house out here, and we're going to confirm the weight of everything prior to putting it on there so we can calibrate this accurately. Now, ideally, you want to use at least 10% of whatever you intend to weigh on there. So if I intend to weigh, let's say 5,000 pounds, for instance, I should be using 500 pounds worth of weight to calibrate this to get a good calibration. Now, I don't have any intentions of putting anything more than probably 1,500 pounds on here. However, we're going to use as close to 250 pounds as we can. That way, if we put, say, 2 bales on here, we would still be pretty close to being covered. Well, the bathroom scale says that weighs 15.2 pounds. And the bathroom scale says that that weighs 20.3 pounds. We'll weigh myself, 153.8. Now, I know you can't tell, but I have the dog in my hands. All right, we have everything calibrated. Now, all the weights we have combined are 242.9 pounds. Now, that is a 15-pound weight, a 20-pound weight, our herding dog Spirit, and myself. So let's put all those weights back on there, and let's see what it weighs out to be. We'll put them on one at a time. You can see the scale right there. What's that give us? Looking good, 15.1, 15.0. fluctuates a little bit, probably because this floor is slightly slanted. How about now? 35.4. Spirit, come. There you go, sit. Wait. All right, now, I'm not gonna be able to see it, but it should read 242.9 pounds. Again, can't see it in the screen there, but you can see it's only these items on the scale, and that's what we should be at. Now, like I mentioned, it's important to calibrate it for 10% of the weight that you intend to weigh. Now, in our case, 2,400 pounds will be the most we ever put on this scale, even though it's rated for 5,000, mainly because the size of it. So this is designed for us to be able to put in our alleyway for our sheep, for our bottle calves, and for also our young calves in general. We're gonna weigh some bales with it. All of those things will fit on here easily. And our bales weigh approximately 1,100 pounds. So even if I was able to get 2 of them on here, right, I would still be within that 2,400 pound limit or accuracy that I was aiming for. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it educational. And of course, if you have any more questions, I would suggest going to primeusa.scales.com and check out, they have way more information about their scales or the load cells than I did. So they'll be able to help you far more with that. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed week. We'll see you next time. And remember, if you're going to talk about somebody, talk to God about them. All right, so this one's roughly about 121 pounds. Luna's about 138 pounds. Get back up, buddy. All right. He's about 121 pounds. That was a big leap, man. And dang, you're the lightest one. You're about 113 or 114 pounds.